Hello everyone, welcome to this module now on the live setup of RevMob. How to do it step by step. I'll show it to you. If you aren't the developer, then at least you can show this to your developer. I'm going to be doing it for both the iOS Apple platform as well as Android via Eclipse, covering both the Google Play and Amazon markets. And it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully this will make it a lot more easier for you, as when I started doing it myself, it actually took me many weeks to figure it all out. But once you actually figure out how easy it is, it's like, wow, it actually takes you only a few minutes when you actually figure out how easy it is. And so hopefully this will be able to save you that time. Alright, so first thing is the pre-setup. First you want to log into RevMob. Okay, so go ahead and do that now. Second, click on the Apps tab. And then thirdly, select the operating system of the app you're building. So if you're using iOS, which is Apple, Android, Google Play, or Amazon, those three are available. And this is basically how it looks. There you go. You click on the Apps tab in the first top left over here. Then after that, you go down, you click on Add an App, and then you choose either iOS, Android, or Amazon. In this case, the first thing that we're going to be doing is iOS, so I would click on iOS app. And then after that, you'll get a page that looks like this. And at this point here, you could choose if your app is already in iTunes, so it's just like you've got an app already and you're planning to update it and actually integrate RevMob, then you would click on the My App is already in iTunes button there. And then after that, it'll ask you for the link and you would just put that in there. If not, if this is the first time you're actually putting an app up for the iOS side when it comes to RevMob, then you would actually type in the name, and after that, you would actually select the content type that you want to show. Now, if your actual game or app, is restricted for certain audiences, then make sure you do not include any of these three. Simply by checking them, make sure that it doesn't show you that content type. But if you really want to maximize your stuff, you want to leave these unchecked. All right. So now you would click on Save, and then after that, you would go down to the list, and you make sure that you note down your app ID. And it'll be a really long number. So that's an example there of the long number. And it'll look something like this. So, you'll see the list again, and you would go down here, and you'd see this whole entire app ID here. And you could click on this little clipboard icon, and it'll copy it right to your clipboard sort of thing. Alright? And so now we're going to head right to the live iOS integration, which I'm going to show you. You can watch me as I integrate RevMob into an iOS app. Make sure you recorded your app ID, because that's going to be required as we actually go into the live integration now. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off now on the iOS integration. First step is, like I said, make sure you go to your actual iOS app on RevMob. Click on this little copy icon here. It'll just copy the actual app ID which you need for later on. And let's go over here. You're going to click on the SDK tab here, and it's going to take you to this page here. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on the download button, and once that download starts, it's going to actually download up here in this top right. And once the download finishes, just click on this little icon here, the magnifying glass, and it'll show you the download which you did here. And you should be able to see this here when it is done downloading, and you'll see something that says RevMob ads.framework. Alright, click on that, and we're going to actually need to drag that into our Xcode. So I'm assuming that you've already got Xcode set up here with your first app, and so I'm not going to go right into that too much, but click on your Xcode and let's get into there. And you'll see on the left side here, you're going to have a whole bunch of folders. We're going to be focused on the frameworks folder right now, just for the moment. Alright, this is a fresh app that I just did. Click on your Finder, okay, and then click on the RevMob ads.framework, and you're going to click and you're going to drag it right over to the frameworks there, just as I'm doing now, and you're going to let go, and this screen is going to pop up here, and you want to make sure that you click on the copy items into the destination groups folder sort of thing, and make sure that the add to targets is checked off as well, and click on finish. Okay, and so now the framework is there. We still need to add a few more frameworks, so let's go ahead and do that. So what you're going to do is click on your project here, alright, and then you're going to click on Build Phases. All right. Then you're going to open up the Link Binary with Libraries tab there, and you're going to click on the plus button, and you're going to add the following frameworks. So let's type in first SYS, and we will get the System Configuration Framework. So you click on that and click on Add. All right. Then after that, what you're going to do is we're going to add the App Support framework. So let's do that there, and click on the plus button again and type in Add Support. Where did I go? Add, right there. Support.framework. Click on Add. Okay. And now we're going to click on the plus button again. And now we're going to add in the StoreKit framework. So STORE. There it is, StoreKit framework. Alright. Click on Add there as well. Okay, so we've got all the frameworks that we need. Okay, in your Build Settings tab, if you go down here, you're going to have to make sure that you've got iOS deployment targets set as 4.3. So over there, we're going to click on that, and we're going to select 4.3. Alright, and then after that, we are going to now go over to our classes side of things. So in the classes, you're going to be looking for something that says appdelegate.m. Alright, so one of your files there will, for sure say the word appdelegate.m. You just got to find out which, file that is inside of your classes. And then you're going to go up to the top line where it says import, and you're going to basically hit enter, and we're going to add another import there. So import, import ORT. Alright, and we're going to start off with a triangle bracket, and we're going to type in RevMob. Alright, so RevMob, and you see it already says it there, RevMob adds /RevMob adds.h. Okay, put an ending triangle so that the triangle brace sort of thing on the opposite end, and that's your tag basically there. Alright, so we've now imported RevMob adds, so now we got to place the code somewhere to the thing that we copied, the ID. And so we're going to be looking for something called application did finish launching, which is this thing right here, if you actually see that. Alright, what I'm highlighting there. It's going to be inside of your code somewhere. You want to find that, and what you're going to do then is right inside of there, you're going to go to it and you're going to type in the following. You're going to type in starting square bracket, oops, right there, RevMob adds, so RevMob adds, and it already shows it there, space, and then start session with ID. So start session with ID, with app ID, and it says it already. Put a colon right in front of that and put the @ symbol, and then you're going to basically put in the beginning of a quotation, and you're going to then paste in the actual ID that we copied, and then put the ending quote symbol, and then put a closing square bracket and a semicolon. Alright, so basically what we've done is we're telling RevMob, listen, this is the ID I want you to use so that I actually get paid, whenever I show an ad to my users. Alright, then once that's done, we're going to go down over to application did become active. Okay, and that's down here. I'm going to just highlight that there if you could see that. Application did become active. Alright, you want to find that inside of your code. And what we're going to do then is right on top, we're going to put in RevMob session. So you're going to start off with 2 square brackets, and then you're going to type in RevMob. So RevMob adds. There it is, RevMob adds. Alright, and then you're going to type in the word session, SESSION. Alright, there it is. And then you're going to put a closing square bracket. And then you're going to type in the word show full screen. Now you could show a banner, and you could also show a pop-up. But right now we're going to just show the full screen. And you're going to put a closing square bracket and a semicolon. And that's it. Now all you do is you save your work, and you basically hit, product and run. And you'll actually be able to see your ad load up in the simulator. So I'm just going to do that right now. Okay, so here we go. We actually have it loading up here in the simulator, and we should see our RevMob ad show up in a second. There we go. Free app of the day. Download now, and the user could click on it. It was really simple to integrate that. If you actually saw me walk through it, it didn't take long, right? And it's up and running, and now we're already monetizing. And that's it. There's your iOS RevMob integration. And the cool thing is, when we did the application is active, what that means is basically now if we open up our app again, it'll show another ad again. So it's really cool. RevMob will keep on coming up every single time the app loads. So that way you can monetize really well with this. So this is what an interstitial is. Really easy setup, and that's the iOS side. Let's now take a look at the Android side. Alright, so now we're going to do the Google Play and Amazon Live integration. And we're going to do that inside of Eclipse, which is the Android programming software. And basically, it is the exact same procedure, and the only difference is the fact that you just have to set up RevMob again for Amazon, and just take that code that RevMob gives you, and you're just going to swap it with the code that you've got for Google Play. And you're going to get to see that. But other than that, it's the exact same procedure. So it works for both Google Play and Amazon. But just make sure that before you launch an app into Amazon using RevMob, you make sure that you swap the codes so that when people are actually checking out the RevMob ad, they're seeing Amazon links. And so when they do click on the RevMob, it'll actually go right to an Amazon link rather than a Google Play market link, so that at least you'll get credited for the actual click and install. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so here we are. We're going to be starting now the RevMob integration with Android. So first thing you want to do is open up your Eclipse tool to actually program things. And I've already created a basic project, and I got some source code inside of there. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you first go over to the RevMob SDK documentation side. You're going to download the latest Android SDK there. And always I'd recommend just checking out the documentation. Sometimes when they update things, there might be some new changes that they bring out. All kinds of great information there that you can follow along with. I've actually done this integration several times, so I actually go a bit faster, and images say 1,000 words versus code. Once you've downloaded it, once you click on the download button, you'll come to a page like this. Just download the SDK. It's a zip file, and as you'll notice, it even says here, make sure you're using API level 7 or higher. Okay, and so basically once you do that, you download it somewhere. In this case, I've got it here on my desktop. Okay, you want to double click on it a few times, and this specific item here, RevMob dash whatever the current version is, and it'll be a jar file. Okay, so keep that in mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep that open, that window open, and I'm assuming that you've already downloaded it. And what you're going to do then is you're going to click and you're going to drag that into a libs folder. Now the thing is, in this current situation, we don't have one. So if you don't have one, this is actually perfect. I can show you how to add one. You're going to right click on your project, you're going to click on new, and you're going to click on folder. Okay, and you're just simply going to type in the word libs, L-I-B-S, and you're going to click on finish. Okay, so that's the first major step. Second thing is you're going to now click and drag the RevMob jar file. Alright, and that's from what you downloaded. So let's click and drag it right inside of the libs folder. Once you let go, this is going to come up. Click on copy files, hit OK. We're still not done yet. Inside of Eclipse, you still have to do one more step. We're going to right click on the libs folder. We're going to click on build path, and we're going to go to configure build path. Alright, we need to add the library into our project. So you're going to click on the libraries tab. You're going to click on add jars, and we're going to go down to the project name. In this case, it's RevMob example. You're going to click on the libs folder, and you're going to select the actual jar file which we just now imported. Hit OK. And then after that, you'll see that it's already loaded there. Click on Order and Export, and make sure to check this off, okay, so that it's actually included. And then you click OK. Alright, so now you'll see that reference libraries came up, and now it is correctly referenced inside of our project. So now we can start using it. Okay, so now let's start off with the first set of things. I want you to open up your Android manifest, and you could double click on that, and we're going to click on Android manifest.xml. Okay, and what we're going to be doing is we need to add internet access. Our app, just as it is, doesn't have any internet access. And so what we're going to do is, I'm actually using my Eclipse tutorial, my original one. We're going to have to add that in. So I'm actually going to be copying these here. Basically, it's uses-permission Android name, android.permission.internet. And then after that, uses permission, Android name, and it's Android : name, Android.permission.access Wi-Fi state, and then uses permission, Android name, and Android.permission.access network state. Alright, so we copy those 3 lines, and we go to the bottom of our manifest here, and we just simply paste it in. Okay. Inside of the uses features there. Oops. So let's do that. Alright, so now we've got those there. Now we have to also add in some activities here. And so what we're going to do is we're adding in the activity for RevMob, and it's going to allow us to have full screen ads. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to go over to where it says activity. Okay, so if you actually see that there, sorry, just moving around here, and right under the closed activity before the application closes, we're going to paste in this line of code here, and basically it's starting activity, and we're basically getting the Android name to be RevMob, and then after that the configuration changes to be keyboard orientation, and then after that I'm just closing off that activity. Alright, so that's all you need to do here for your app manifest. And as you notice over here, it says minimum SDK version is 7. Okay, that is very important. That tells Android that basically your app should show on devices which are as old as Android SDK 7. But we're going to be setting it up for 13 or higher or whatever you want to. But in this case, this is just a basic integration, so I'm just showing you how to do it. Alright, so our Android manifest is now ready to go, and we could close that off there. Our next step is going to be actually opening up our Java file. Alright, we're actually going to be coding this stuff in, and we're going to have to do a few imports here. So let's go ahead and open up our Java file, and we could find that in our src inside of our com.companyname.appname and our actual Java file. Just double click on it. Now this is through Shiva 3D. Most likely you'll find something similar with your own code if you're programming from scratch, or if you're using any other external tools. I'm actually using Shiva 3D. That's the tool that we use here at Game Scorpion. What you want to do is you want to expand your imports, okay, and then go all the way down. You're going to be adding a new import here. And so we're going to import com.revmob.revmob. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste this line right over. Alright, there we go, com.revmob.revmob. So I've added that in. The next thing is we're going to go down, and we're going to be adding a few private strings here. Firstly, this first one here, it says private static string application ID. That's the RevMob ID that's going to be used, which should be the same thing that you got from RevMob's website. Alright, so we're going to go down and we're going to add that in, and I believe it's right here. There we go. And so it's going to be inside of your main class. Like for example over here I've got the public class calculator plus x extends activity yada yada yada. But basically it's in the beginning of your class. And we need to change the actual ID here to what your application ID is going to be. Alright, so in this case, this is actually wrong. It should be an Android ID, but this just may very well work. Because I'm testing, that's okay. Make sure you're using an Android version of the app. This will probably fail because I'm using an Apple version of the app. But let's go ahead and just try it out and use it there. Okay. The next item that we're going to need is going to be a private RevMob variable. So we're going to copy that and we're going to put that in right underneath. Alright, so now we've got that set up there. Okay. Once again, keep in mind you want to get your Android version of the actual app ID here. In fact, let me go and do that. I'll be right back in one moment. Okay, and finally what you want to do is in the place wherever you want to show the actual ad, you're going to be adding these 2 lines of code here. And I've put this in the onStart engine, but you can keep it anywhere inside of your code where you would like to see your ad. I would keep it in a place where most likely the app is going to resume, sort of thing, because in Android, unless the user actually cuts a program off, it doesn't automatically shut off, and it could be running in memory for quite some time. So I will tend to put it inside of an onResume if possible, if you can find that inside of your code. But just for this example, I'm putting it in the onStart engine. But like I said, wherever you want the actual full screen ad to load at the time, this is where you would put these 2 lines of code. And so this is pretty much the final step. RevMob equals RevMob.start, and then you would actually put the context, which is this, and then the application ID, which we defined earlier, and then RevMob.show full screen ad, and then the context once again, which is this. And so that's very important. Without that line, you won't be able to see an ad. Alright, so those 2 lines combined will actually show the ad, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What you do now is you simply compile and test it out, and you should be good to go. And I've done this several times, so you know it is a little bit more challenging on the Android side than it is on the iOS side, if you also watch the iOS integration video. But hopefully this video was able to get you there faster, and that's the ultimate goal. Okay, and there you have it. This is the end of the module now. We went over the steps to set up RevMob on both iOS and on Android. We basically started off by integrating RevMob into an iOS app, and I showed you that step by step. And then after that, we learned how to integrate RevMob into an Android app via Eclipse for both Google Play and Amazon. And all you have to do is now the Amazon code is the exact same code as the Google Play one that I showed you in Eclipse, and all you're doing is you're just swapping the IDs, you know, with the other Amazon ID that you got from RevMob. That's all you have to do, but everything else is the exact same. So yeah, once you set that up, you test it out, make sure everything is running, sign your applications, and upload them, and start making some money. Alright, I'll see you in the next video where I share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to really, you know, help you increase your RevMob revenues and even get, you know, some more interesting things going on with RevMob as well. So I highly recommend you check out that video. Alright, take care, and I'll see you soon.